Well, there we go. For episode 3 of the DMC Live, the Diecast and Modelers community, and I'm joined by my co-hosts. Firstly, Luke from Diecast Outlaw. Good evening, Luke.
Good evening, PJ. Good evening, boys, ladies and gentlemen.
The T-shirt man himself, Laz from Lazi-low collectibles.
Good evening, guys. Evening, everyone.
And Martin Dare from Martin Dare's Dinky Restorations. Who's
evening all. Evening all.
I think it's frozen.
His video is frozen, but he's there in voice, in audio.
Yeah.
We were hoping to be joined by a guest who hasn't quite shown up yet because it might be a different time in Australia than we thought, and he might have forgot to get out of bed. But we'll play it by ear for the time being. And I'm PJ from Midlife Model. So welcome to episode 3. Hello, Eva, in the chat. How are you?
I think that's my mom.
That's like Laz's
mom.
Hello, Laz's mom.
Yes, that's my mom. And Jessica is here. Hello, guys. Greeting from Canada.
Evening, Jerry. Evening,
Jerry. Yes.
How are you?
How you doing?
Is it Jerry or Gary?
No, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah, with a G. With a G.
G.
Not a
Okay.
J. With a G.
Okay, G. Jerry. Evening, Jerry.
I'm trusting on my buddy Laz to keep an eye on the chat and the views.
I will do that.
We haven't quite got Michael here yet to give him his grilling of 10 questions. So we'll play it by ear for a bit, and I think what we'll do is just go around the houses like we did in the tavern last night and just see what everybody's up to.
Yep.
So if that's all right, chaps, we'll start with Martin. Martin, what you been up to, buddy?
Well, I've just completed the Austin 1800 Dinky land crab, as we call them. That one's completed for next week. The Matchbox K17 Dyson low loader and bulldozer. I've done that one for the week after, and at the moment I'm working on the Corgi Toys Black Beauty Green Hornet. So that's what we've got going on at the moment.
And
Good evening.
Hello, Lodge's mum again. I can see where he gets it from now. You were saying earlier in the chat, Marty, you'd had a bit of an issue with lost him now.
Yeah, a bit of a mishap. Yeah, I was painting the Black Beauty, and I got 3 coats of black on it, and I just wet sanded it all and got it nice and smooth, and I put the first very thin, luckily, tack coat of lacquer on it. And as I turned it round, it pinged off the forceps and ended up on the floor. So I was a bit upset about that.
Pain.
So I had to let it dry for a while and then got out some more wet and dry. And luckily enough, that it came off, because I'd only actually done one side and there was a fingerprint on one side. So managed to get that off and repainted it, re-lacquered it, and it's fine now. So it's got about 9 coats of paint on it, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. That should be interesting, and it's black, so it shows everything up.
Yeah.
And it's a big casting. That big Lincoln Continental. It's a big casting.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks for that, Martin. Luke in his new location, which looks fantastic, by the way. It looks really good.
New shed. The new shed.
It's not a shed.
I'm going to hit you, Laz. It's the Diecast unit. Right. Is it me, PJ?
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Yeah.
Go for it, mate.
I've been a busy bee today. I've been working on the Fab one.
Fab one.
Well, that's a nice
It's
pink.
all sprayed up.
Good man.
Get it in the
What
camera.
shade is it, Luke? What shade of pink did you use?
I just mixed it up, made myself.
All right, okay.
Very nice and very shiny.
I put the chrome stripes down the side of it because it's got that in the program, but the models don't have them. But I've done some a little bit different with it.
Yeah.
I had a problem with the front screen. It was all warped.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
But managed to sort that out.
yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. What do you do? A bit of
That's
heat
something
on it?
like
Did you
that.
put a bit of heat on it? Yeah.
Bit of heat on it, Martin, and then just sort of squash it. But the problem I had
Yeah.
with it, when I was trying to straighten up the edge, they were curling in. So just braced it across there, and it was all right then. They just repainted the stripes as well, the same colour on the top hood.
Yeah, they're a bit of a pain, them screens on them fab ones at the front there, because they don't, even when you close the canopy from new, they don't really close tight shut. You know what I mean? There's always that gap, and that front screen always tends to bow in the middle for some reason or another. I don't know whether it's because over time it starts to shrink or distort, but yeah,
we got there with it. I've got it fired in right now because the just had to bend the plate just at the front there, and with the axles in now, it fires a rocket out, sweeps it up. So that's what I've been up to today.
They're brilliant in the simplicity. The mechanics are.
They are
so simple, but it's really effective.
Yeah,
that's very similar to the. That's very similar mechanism at the front to the SPV.
Yeah,
that one is the same operation basically, but it's operated by the front axle.
I did see somebody do the Interceptor, a YouTube video, and he was a lot younger than us, and he says, "I don't know how they got away with selling models like this, where you can launch a missile that could take somebody's eye out." You know, it was quite interesting that was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's similar. Yeah, they don't care. It didn't matter too much back then because
no,
that's how it was, wasn't it?
Well, that one on that's lethal when you press that, when you pull that spring back, doesn't have shoot out on it. You wouldn't want it in your eye, like.
No,
you wouldn't.
Well, you imagine that Interceptor that Paul's got. Imagine that getting on the square on the forehead. That'd give you an headache, wouldn't it?
Well, that one that's got the missile on the front of that. Oh, there's the missile.
Huge, great thing, isn't it?
It's like a bullet. It's a big old beast. The bullet on it.
It's a fair old size getting that flattering around you.
So a quick shout out to Enric and Kev.
Yes.
Good evening, guys. Welcome.
Evening.
Denmark, yes, and Kev's Diecast Restorations, Kevin. Good evening.
Hi, Kevin.
And we'll catch up with our good friend Mr. Laz from Lazi-low Collectibles. What have you been up to, Laz?
Not much really. I've released the video yesterday. The Diecast Restorations without a video. So that's March's restorations without a video on the channel. So that you could see yesterday. I mean, it's on the channel. I've got another video next Friday, the airport crash tender. And because I'm here, I'm not doing anything. So when I get back home, I will start. I've got 3 Land Rovers on the go by Corgi Toys, and a couple of Lesnies, 2 for the channel and 2 for not for the channel, 2 for the April video, Diecast Restorations without a video. So yeah,
good stuff. Myself, just a quick roundup that we went to. Myself, Martin, Luke, and Andy from Andy's Diecast Restorations were at Stafford Toy Fair. We met up and we had a good lads. It was like a kid's day out, to be honest. Wasn't it? We regressed to being about 10 years old, and we brought some new toys. And one of the challenges was to buy a vehicle for under £5, and we'd call it the Stafford Challenge or something like that. I don't know. So I think Martin and Luke have both got a vehicle that they brought from under £5. Yeah. And in actual fact, I know that Mr. Dare had some given to him, so he's got at least a couple for under £5. We won't go into that. I won't embarrass him as I usually do. But what I'm working on is it's in pieces at the minute, but it's the mobile crane, the Hercules mobile crane from Super Kings. It's Matchbox Super Kings, and it should look like that when it's done. I thought I'll buy this because I've got some spare parts back at home, and then I looked at this one, and it's in perfect condition. So I don't want to tear this down.
No.
That's what I'm going to be working on. I'm hoping that I can get the windscreen sorted out because it's a little bit all over the place at the minute. I've been talking to Martin about it.
Yeah. Send it down, PJ. Send it down.
Talking about things that fire, I picked up a streamlined Colt, right?
Capcom.
Bit of a bizarre thing to pick up, but I remember that in the good old days, you used to be able to put the reel of paper caps inside.
Yeah.
And that was the reason that I brought it, because I've also got a different version where you put the ring of caps inside.
Yeah.
Okay, so
is it 6? You shout 6. The ring one.
8. It's got 8. Yeah. And the guy gave me a reel of the paper caps, but they were that old that some were it was misfiring on some of them. It wasn't. They weren't all working. And my idea, what I'd like to do, is to remove the handles. This one's from 1973, and this one's from about yesterday. I thought this was an old vintage piece, but you can still buy these on Amazon. They're 10 a penny. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about taking the handles off and replacing them with wooden handles and having them and staining them up like. And with this one, I'd like to give it like the blue steel look. So projects for the future, those are. We've also got the Interceptor I've done. There was nothing wrong with this. I've dropped it twice now, and I've smashed the windscreen and broke a leg off it. So I've got to repair that. That was just one of my collection pieces. And a shout out to our good friend Andy Bourne, who gave me or donated a 18 scale John Player special, and it was missing the snorkel. I've made a wooden form or pattern, and I'm going to stick that in the old mold and create a resin version to bring that back to life. Whether we can get, I don't know whether Martin, whether you can get the 18th scale John Player special stickers. I know we can get the 136 scale ones.
I'm not sure. If you would, it would probably be Black Square. Will probably have them. Yeah. I would say, but I haven't come across them yet.
But that's almost.
I'm not sure.
Jerry's got a comment. I'm sitting here looking at my Corgi Toys Corvette Stingray. It's missing its 2 plastic roof panels. I'm going to make them out of a big lighters. Pray for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, Jerry, that's not a bad idea, because I have the metallic green and the metallic red Corvette. They're Golden Jacks, and I have one roof panel missing on one of them, and I think the other one, it's the opposite side, so they're not the same. But actually, that idea of the lighter is a pretty good idea, because it's got that curve that you need as it comes around. If you know what we were on about, PJ, it's the Corvette Stingray. It's a Golden Jacks by Corgi, and it has 2 yellow or orangey yellow plastic Targa top pieces on the top.
Are the Golden Jacks where you can take the wheels off?
Yeah, the golden. And they did a metallic red and a metallic green, and they got these 2 separate panels what can be lifted off. Invariably, either both missing or one's missing. I've got one, I think. I can't remember if I got both or one, but they're both missing a panel. Yeah. So yeah, good idea, Jerry. Good idea, mate. Spot on.
Yeah, we're always looking at. If you've got any ideas, we ought to create some kind of hints and tips chat on the Facebook group. For those that are new, I think that's not strictly anybody on at the moment, because everybody's been here before. Join us on the YouTube, on the Facebook DMC page if you're not there already. But what we'll have to do, Laz, is we'll look at creating a list of an FAQ or an ideas chat, so that we can list any ideas in there. Because there's a lot of people that like to do fabrication from various bits and bobs to because parts are expensive. We all know
Yes,
that.
they are. Yes.
I came across a tip the other day when I was watching a guy called Justin from J Hart Model Works. He does all scale models. He's absolutely fantastic. He does cars and that beautiful paintwork. And he got a tip from another guy. And with the raised details on these Corgis and Dinkies, i.e., on radiator grills, you get the raised forward or whatever, and you get a raised detail.
Yeah.
I've always painted mine in or used a toothpick or something. And the tip was to use a razor, as they would call it, And I thought, well, that's not bad. Either the one you get at the end of a pencil, or you can buy the square rubbers, the erasers. I'll say erasers because if I say rubbers, it can offend people in another country. So what you do basically, you dip your rubber and you get some paint, you just dip it in and use it as like a stamp, basically, and get most of the paint off. And because it's solid, but it's also slightly absorbent and it doesn't like bend, it's not that flexible, you can use it as a stamp. And I did it on, you'll see it on, in fact, I'll just show you. Give me 2 seconds and I'll show you.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah.
Actually, I did it. If you can see it, the Ford on there. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit blurred, mate, but yeah, I get the general gist of it.
I see the letters Ford. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was done with that. Yeah.
Oh.
No blurring on it. It came out quite nice.
So that's
so just basically got it and just got most of the paint off on a bit of cloth and then just touched it on and it stamped it a treat. That was first time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's only going to paint what it can touch, isn't it? That's the gist.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why the square rubbers are nice. But if you've got just a one piece, like a Ferrari logo or just a one letter, you can use the small pencil ones. Just dip it in.
That's a good idea, actually.
So it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Same as using the propelling pencil sets you get. The propelling pencils with the leads that come out at the end. And you can use you can get now. Well, propelling pencils. They call them mechanical pencils.
Yeah.
And you get sets going from 0.2 up to 3 millimeter, and you use them for painting details on the inside. You just dip them in your paint, and then you could, because it's fine, the pencil side, you can use that for doing your detail work. Yeah. So but that's a good tip for that rubber. I'll be stuff for that.
Well done.
Yeah. Thank you, lads.
See if he hasn't.
Good evening, Mick. Mick Mainley's here. Good evening, Mick.
Hi, Mick.
How you doing, buddy? Similar method to the Tampo printing. Kev saying
Yes.
Very similar. I've just got to work out now it's got paint on the rubber, how to get it off without having to misshape the square end. So
so it's one pencil, one car.
One pencil, one paint job.
No, I think if you got I think I've got a one of those like guillotine type of things. I'll be able to just cut it off the edge. I used a rubber block this time. The block it was, not the pencil. Because there was I think a pencil on that one, because the letters are so close together, you've been encroaching and probably spoil the letter.
To be honest with you, the toothpick never worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like it.
You need an English toothpick, mate. That's what you need.
I have an English toothpick.
It's still from bigger toothpicks out in Europe.
It's still from England. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's not for everybody. To be honest with you, the cocktail sticks or toothpicks nowadays, they're rubbish. They're so weak. I bought some from a cheap shop the other day,
Always got
because I
always got a
always,
set on hand by.
yeah, I always use them, but they were snapping, breaking, and
Yes,
they were just
Yeah.
rubbish.
I do
Rubbish.
use them for applying the glue.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good
I
for
mean,
that.
the way that I do it is, if I'm going to do something like on a 64 scale where the headlights, well, because if you're doing a 64 scale, they didn't necessarily come with the headlights painted. It was just
Yes.
a block color. Now,
Yeah.
me and you, Laz, we like to do a little bit of highlighting of lights and stuff like that. And what I'll do is get one of the toothpicks and a pair of scissors and just cut it so there's a slant on the end of the toothpick rather than the point. And it
Yes.
gives a bit of a flatter edge, and they're ideal for doing headlights and stuff like that, brake lights. And if you want to do things like, I mean, I've noticed that Luke on that Fab One was doing some real fine lining.
Yeah.
How did you do your chrome line?
I just run like a sheet of masking tape. Obviously, go around it with a cocktail stick, and then just blade it, just a line out with the blade.
Okay.
You could do it like masking it either side of the line, but I find you use a knife, it's really crisp, and the line is.
Yeah.
It's
So I do. So I
I'm
do
not going to
mine
say
like
it's
that.
easier, but I would imagine it's.
Mm.
I haven't done it myself, but I imagine it's easier than trying to fine line a paint strip. Fine line. You know, I'm trying to
paint it.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Doing a fine line of paint rather than because
So
we've talked about this in the past about the Batmobile, trying to put the orange lines around the Batmobile. That's a hell of a job that is, right?
Yeah, because that's the nature of where the line is. It's right on the edge, isn't it? Right on the edge, and you'd be rocking about all over the place with that. So
yeah. And I've yet to find even the Paco pens that I know Laz has got a couple of Paco pens. I've got to try and alter some of these fine line Paco pens. I think you said you got down to a 0.7, didn't you, Laz, with the Paco pens?
Yes. They as long as they're I use the 0.7 millimeters.
Yeah.
Which it's okay for 1 to 64 it's a bit thick, but for the bigger ones 1 to 43 and 36 they okay, they're all right. But
So
I do prefer sometimes the brush, the paintbrush.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was looking for some fine line brushes. I don't know if anybody's ever actually purchased any fine line brushes. I was going to have a look on, against my better judgment, I was going to have a look on Temu, but
I got some good ones from there the other week. Some quite fine ones as well. Good bristles on them.
Yeah.
I was quite shocked when they come. You weren't, do you?
In Canada, there is an office supply company that make custom rubber stamps. It says Jerry. I'm going to get some.
Oh, right, yeah.
Dinky auto transporter and the Leslie car transporter. Just waiting to catch a sale.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, Jerry. Good luck with that, mate. He's had some good bargains. He's had some good bargains lately, this Jerry.
If you get some, Jerry, just do us a favour, mate. Post a picture on the Facebook DMC group so we can have a look. Any ideas that we can get when we can share around the group is great. We were talking about on a Friday night we have our rambunctious, raucous, call it what you will, tavern, our online pub. It was a bit rowdy last night, but
14 people.
14 people we had on there last night.
Yeah.
Have you considered using nail dotters for fine detail? Nail dotters.
Nail dotters.
Yeah, I know what he means. Yeah, but I think Michael got some. They're basically they got a handle. They got like little bits of how can I say? it's difficult to explain. They got like little shafts at each end with a little ball at each end, different size ball. Yeah.
Oh, they're like
You know what I mean?
it's like a
And they
ball
use
bearing stuck on the end.
But yeah,
Like
yeah,
a nail,
it's like
nail
that,
dotter.
they're different size. Yeah,
Like a nail dotter, yeah.
yeah, that's what they use. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're good. They are good actually. They're good for headlights.
I've seen, aren't they the same thing that you can use for them crystal? You know, if you buy one of them pictures from the range and they've got all crystals inside, you can pick it up with these.
Oh no, that's no, that's a you can use that's basically a wax pencil. If you got a wax pencil, you can pick up your diamonds and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
You can get the nail dotters at your pound shops.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah.
It concerns me that so many men know about how to get a load of stuff for the nails.
Yeah, especially when you're in the supermarket, you're hanging around the ladies section of makeup and that. You know, I mean,
Yes,
not so much these days. But it's a bit odd, you know what I mean? When you're picking up nail polish and razors and you're picking up.
I'd like some nail polish and some nail dotters. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're going to be struggling to get Michael online. So perhaps it's time that we started to move on a little bit. And
I think Kev said he'd pop on, didn't he?
Yeah, we've got Kev lined up. We've got Kev from Kev's Diecast Restorations.
Yeah.
Coming up in the next one. And then Kevin from Kev's Bangers coming up the following fortnight. I want to give Michael plenty of time, because the reason being is we were just discussing this, that the hours are changing, so we don't know what time of day Michael thinks it is.
He might be in half an hour actually.
Yeah. So
if it's 5 o'clock there, I mean 5:30 there, because they moved the clock backwards already. So it might be just half 5.
And I don't want to do the other guys a disservice by cutting them short if Michael kicks in like. So cover some of the topics that we've talked about in the past. So I'll open this up then. Is there a topic that one of you guys want to talk about, whether it be paint spraying, whether it be printing, whether it be decals, whether it be whatever it may be, that we can have a chat about?
Could be anything really. How much research do you guys do on before you actually do your restorations? You know, when you decide what you're going to restore, how much research do you do on the actual vehicle before you do it?
If you say we all asked Martin Dare, you're going to be fired.
The first thing I do is I go to Martin's channel and see if he done it already. No, seriously, I always go. I go to YouTube first and type in the car I want to do and see if anybody else done it. So see a little bit, how does it look inside, if there's any problem when you take it apart. And then I go on the internet and I try to find a real life car to see the color scheme, or the details like indicators.
Hey, Millie. Hi, Millie.
Backlights. Good evening, Millie. And and after that, I will also check the relevant book like Matchbox or Corgi or Dinky, and also I look how the original looks on internet as well. And then I decide, before I start the video, okay, what's going to be the color? Do I want to customize it, or I want to make it look original? And how many parts I need? Do I need any parts? How the windscreen looks? How much? I already think how much work I need to do on the windscreen. Is there any imperfections on the chassis? And then I start the video, and and after that, just as it comes, because you never know before you open the car, you take the base off, if the suspension is all right, if the hub coming off or not. So, but after that, I think it's smooth. I think as long as you have your final picture, your image, how the car will look, because I think most of us can already imagine, even before you start, how this car will look when you finished.
Yeah.
So you have the vision. You have the vision that this is gonna look exactly like this. That's why I cannot wait sometimes. When when it's still drying, and I just can't wait. I need to put it together now. I need to see how does it look.
Yeah. There is
but these are the steps I do. So research, parts requirements, and what paint I have. Do I need to buy another paint, or what? For example, yellow. I try to avoid yellow.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are my steps.
Well, I'm just going to jump in there before we go to Luke and myself. And Old Boys Toys has joined us in the chat. Hi there.
Yes.
Kev,
Hi, Millie.
Millie's renamed the channel to Millie's Hot Wheels. Great idea. I don't know who gave you that idea, Millie. That was well done, mate. Well done. It looks.
Old Boys Toys. Good evening. Luke, do you use a water-based gun wash at work? We are trying some work at, and I have nicked some for my airbrush. Seems to work very well. So now, guys, you can see it's easy to find my channel. Yes, it is easier. Yes, it's easier. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comment.
Yeah, let's. Well, we've got a question for one of our hosts. So, Luke, do you use a water-based gun wash at work? We are trying some. No. We're trying some at work, and I have nicked some for my airbrush. Seems to work very well. Okay.
No, I've used water-based paints, which is all the water-based is just the base coat. But it's with humidity and stuff like that, it's got to be bang on to spray it. So I just use normal 2K base and then 2K lacquer. There's some I have done, like I say, the water base in the past just as the base coat, but it's got to be real controlled environment to spray it, so I don't bother with it. But if he's getting good results with it, well done.
With that 2K, is that the one? That's the ones that you brought to Stafford, wasn't it, Luke? The 2K stuff.
Yeah, that was just in the can. That's just a gloss. You don't need to lacquer any of that. The pink I've sprayed this in, that had to be lacquered. But you don't put any hardener in with the base coat. That just air dries it. That dries within 10 minutes. It's bone dry, and you can touch it and do whatever you need to do with it after then. But the lacquer takes a little bit longer. I sprayed that about 3 hours ago, and I can handle it and not leave any fingerprint marks in that. Not a problem.
I think Millie's Hot Wheels is a catchy name. I think that's.
I like Millie's Hot Wheels. That's
she said maybe I need to come up with a better name, but I think Millie's Hot Wheels is okay.
What we can do, what I'm happy to do, Millie, at some point is give you some tips on how to spread the word on your channel. Me and Laz have worked on this quite a bit in the past. In the analytics of YouTube, and if we can help you out, we'll do so using hashtags and all that kind of thing.
Hashtags.
When we found an uptake, it was gradual, but we found an uptake in subscribers and views as well. So that's something we can have a look at using vidIQ and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's probably for a. We might do that on your channel, Lazi, or we can do it on mine at some point. And
yes, we can do like
we can do that.
A little step-by-step video.
Yeah. So Martin's question was, what do we do to research? I'll concede to Luke first.
Pretty much the same as last, really. I went straight to Martin's channel when I bought the Fab Wall just to see what's in store for me. But you know what? Really simple model. It really is. Really easy to do. when I or should I say when I do restorations, I like to do cars that I like the look of, and then I get an idea in my head what I want. The first thing for me is wheels. What wheels I'm going to fit on it. How I want it to sit. I do quite a lot of fabrication to the base plate to get it to sit right. A lot of the cars I've done, the showers, not goers. Some of them don't roll. They're just purely for show. There's this one here. It's coming up on the shelf. Now I bought that little Merc. Probably some of you have seen it before. But on the shelf with that was another model, a modern one, but it had a nice set of wheels on, which is pretty like in period with that car. So I got the model for it just for the wheels really. So that's what I do. I find out with me, I have to buy other models just for the wheels, and I'm wasting a lot of them really, and it's a shame. But you just can't buy the wheels that I want. That's what I'm struggling with most. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I've sacrificed the white. It gets to the point when you've got to be careful what you're spending because it becomes more of a bind than enjoying it if you're spending money on it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to Stafford and spent. I mean, I think I spent 40 quid, but there was one big buy and several little buys, which was ideal. I mean, we're quite a strange breed when we go to these toy fairs because we're asking to look at people's rubbish, and I don't mean that in a bad way. We're looking at stuff that we can restore. Most of the stuff on the tables is looks brand new or it's unboxed and that kind of thing. So we go looking for crap really that we can restore.
Yeah.
But then you've got to come home and then you've got to weigh up, especially if you're doing something like a film or TV vehicle, how much it's going to cost you to replace them parts. I mean, you've done that Fab One, Luke, but if you've got to replace the canopy, the missile, and several other parts, then you've got to think: is it a viable project? You know, so
yeah.
You've really got to.
Have you got a 3D printer? Look,
I haven't, lads. No.
It's not my question. I think it was Kev's question.
No, I haven't, Kev. I've been talking to PJ about it. It's you weigh up your options. It's how often you're going to use it. I've been thinking about it mainly for the wheels, doing the wheels, or maybe a resin printer. I'm looking into, but it's just the expense. That's the thing. Will it be worth it?
You've got to make a minimum of 250 quid back before you've started, you know, and then you've got the materials on top of that.
Well, you never get into it to get your money back anyway. But you're just weighing up what it's costing me to sort of buy, because they're only cheap models that I buy anyway for the wheels because they look nice. It's just weighing that up, the initial outlay to what gain you're gonna get back from it.
The good thing I'll say about the 3D printer, Luke, is that
Jerry said I get most of my stuff from auctions, and the shipping is a killer.
All over from. I mean, we're lucky in the UK. We've got pretty good access to eBay and Facebook and stuff like that. So the cost, but if it's going to the States, if it's going to Oz, anywhere else, it's costing people a lot of money.
I think the UK is lucky with the Matchbox stuff, you know, Matchbox Dinkies, because it is originated from there. So I think you get all like Steve Flowers, they're all UK based. So
yeah,
for you the
postage. There's a couple of places in Oz where they can get spare parts from, I think.
Yes.
But just going back to the 3D printer, what you find, Luke, is you can start to print stuff other than die-cast replacement parts.
Yeah.
So, you know, I haven't got it to hand, but one of the things that I printed was the duck off the front of the convoy lorry.
Yeah,
and
the mat.
Off the mat, yeah. And the idea was we'd print several of them out. We'd get them painted up, and that turned out really well. And you see models of Godzilla and all of these kind of things. I must have one of them. I must have one of them. You don't realise it's going to take 16 hours to print it, and you daren't leave the house in case anything goes wrong. So everything's got its place. It's like the paintbrushes and the toothpicks. Everything's got its place and what you use them for. The same with moulding. The same with 3D printers. So everything's got its place. It's what you need at the time to get the job done.
Maybe moulding might be another way of going.
Quite happy to have a session on that at some point.
Yeah,
doing the moulding.
That might be an idea.
Look,
I think I suffer a lot from confidence in having a go at something.
Yeah.
I brought a moulding kit, and it sat in the cupboard for 6 or 7 months before I thought I really need to have a go at that before the shelf life ends. And then it turned out really well. So I'm quite happy to talk people through the moulding. The thing with the moulding is putting the part in the mould right, so you got it split in two, etc., etc. Yeah. That turns out well.
Go on,
3D printing. Go on, lad.
Sorry, PJ.
No, sorry, PJ. Sorry, PJ. Finish. And after I have a question for Luke.
Yeah, with the 3D printing, it's just getting the bloody thing set up right. Really, that once it is set up right, it's fantastic.
You have trouble with getting it level, the base plate or something, don't you, PJ?
Yeah. What happens is underneath each corner, you've got like a cog to line it up. And the idea is the nozzle should be the width of a piece of A4 paper from the bed, and you should pull it through, and it should just catch. Now, I've had mine a good couple of years, and the models have come on, they've in leaps and bounds. Our good friend Pete from PB Restorations has got a resin printer. We've talked about this before. The stuff that he did with I think it was something like a Mustang or a Dodge car that he'd done. Looked fantastic when he'd done it, but you had to do it in several parts.
Yeah.
So I could do with an updated version, but then it's exactly the same thing as buying a laser printer. Where does it stop? Where does the cost end before it does become a viable option? Luke, Laz, you wanted to ask Luke a question. Sorry.
Yes, Luke. Is it a silly question? But because your shed is brand new, can we have a look? Could you do us a
little look around?
Yeah, just a little like a look around, because you said you really love it.
Right.
We've got moving in.
So you got your
you got your models there, yes.
The model there. There's me sandblaster. Oh, hold on, man. I'll be there. Hold on. Compressor and that.
Oh, nice.
That's I've got another chair there.
So that's a two-seater. It's a two-seater.
YouTubers go round.
That paddle, that you got to connect the Hoover up to it. That takes all the dust out the sandblaster. That does, so you can see better.
Right.
But
okay.
It's not very big, but it's just dedicated just for the hobby, really. I'm really happy with it.
Yes, that's good. Yeah,
it's really good, mate. It really does.
I love the. It's been took a lot of time building it. It has. But I was working or doing them, my models upstairs, and it's just a pain doing it. So I thought, right, let's get it done while I can. So
I know you've been itching to get moved into there because we talked about it every week, haven't we? How far you got with it?
Have you changed your address now?
I'm number 1, the garden.
Has the shed got its own postcode?
Has the shed has a postcode?
You know what? I come in here this morning to spray this car. I just shut the door. The wife weren't mithering me. My son was out. That was it. So a bit of music on, and that was me. Really good.
Just pick it. So Jerry's saying I do a lot of moulding with blue stuff. Yeah, I think Michael has used the blue stuff in the past, I believe.
I have a question as well. Millie's asking where I'm from. Originally I'm Hungarian. I used to live in the UK for 18 years. And now I'm back in Hungary and Romania as well. So
you're a well-travelled man, aren't you, mate? You're a bit of a gypsy,
yes.
really. Yeah.
Well, no, but yeah.
Yeah, you are. You're all over the place.
I'm a globetrotter or
global trotter. Yeah, globe
yes.
trotter. Yeah, you're a globe trotter, not a global
Yes.
trotter.
Yes.
Good stuff. So, referring back to the question that Martin asked, one of the things when we're looking for instructions or advice, what you need to take, what I also try to take into account is, has somebody done that model recently?
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to do on my channel is do something a little bit different. I've used this example before. Martin did the USS Enterprise. I think it's the Dinky one, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah.
That fires the discs.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do one. I've still got another 3, and I wanted to do one, but I thought Martin's just done that, and I don't want to copy what he's done. So I did mine like a studio version in various types of grey, like the old Enterprise is in an institute in the States. It's a well-known institute, museum stroke institute, and I thought, yeah, I'd like to do it like the TV version, which is various shades of grey. But that then opens up a can of worms. Just go online and type in what colour should the Enterprise be, and you get torn down a rabbit hole of people falling out and arguing. And
we have a question.
Go on, lad. Sorry.
Henrik asking, how do I make the green chrome color there on the Corvette, or can it buy?
I don't think you'll be able to buy it unless you can buy it probably if you go down the Hot Wheels colors. What's the name that the company, is it Red Line? They do the custom colors. They do, what's the color they use on their cars, on their Hot Wheels? It's like a candy color, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a candy, but they call it something else now, don't they? Spectre frame.
Yes,
Spectre flame.
Oh yeah.
You might find the color for that, Jerry, in a Spectre flame color, or you can go, or you can go round the route of using the silver, metallic silver, with the Tamiya clear green over the top and bring it up to color. I've done that. I did that on the one of my road sweepers. The more you paint on, you put on, the more clear green you put on, the darker it gets. So you can roughly get the same color. Whether you use a gold base or a silver base, you could bring that color that way. But I would say for them Corvettes, you could probably look at the Spectre flame colors, Jerry. You'll be able to get them easier over there than you would anything else. I would say, being in Canada.
Martin, we have another question. Millie says, I've heard that Dinky ones are valuable, ?
Depends what they are, Millie. Yeah, it depends what they are. Certain Dinkies are valuable, certain ones aren't. Usually the bigger stuff, the transporters, if you know your Dinky toys, some of the larger transporters are worth money, and some of the vintage ones going pre-war are worth money. But in the middle, it depends what it is. It varies, Millie. It does vary. It does vary a lot.
And if you have the box, if it's in a mint condition,
mint condition in a box, obviously it's going to command more money than a normal one. I've seen some vehicles, say for instance a British Leyland 16-wheel tipper truck, that can go for hundreds of pounds in any condition, and stuff like this. Like I say, it varies. at the time. So it's, if you look at eBay, you'll see the prices and what people are asking for them at the moment. But you'll see that there's some are untouchable
Laz, can you
prices,
rotate your
ridiculous.
screen? You're on one side, Laz. In fact, we might.
It's always been on one side, PD. Nothing new there, mate.
Millie, what I can add, a bit of advice is, if you pop into the tavern next Friday, I'll grab hold of the catalogues that I've got, or the Dinky book, collector's book that I've got. I think Martin's got it as well. I think he put me on that route.
Yeah.
There's plenty of information. There's plenty of information out there. You can go onto Amazon and you can go look for toy collectors books. We've got Matchbox ones, we've got Dinky ones, we've got Corgi ones, and at least it'll give you the right model name. And then what you can do is just go onto eBay, type in the model name, and at least it will give you a base value.
Or a very good site is Toy Mart.
Yeah, Toy Mart. Yeah.
Toy Mart is really good. They have mainly Matchbox, and you can, if you type in Google, for example, Matchbox Ford Zodiac Mach 4 blah blah, and you click on, it must come up on Google after eBay and everything. It must come up one Toy Mart, TOY Mart, MRRT, and they have a very detailed description of the model. When did they make them? What color combination? How much is it worth with the box in pristine condition or without the box, or condition A, B, C, D, E, E. So it's a pretty good.
It's almost like almost like a comic book. That if you collect a comic book, depending on the quality of the print, the color, it's not dog-eared. They get a value from 1 to 9, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I use Toy Mart a lot. I use Toy Mart a lot. I think it's really good.
But we can do that. We can, Martin hopefully will grab hold to some of his collection of books, and I'll grab hold to mine, and we can give you an idea what to look for on Amazon or from,
Yeah, it depends what you want, really, doesn't it, at the end of the day?
Pet Corgi costs €7 in Denmark. Says Henrik.
What's that, about £5.50, something like that?
Yeah, it's $5.50. Yeah, something about $5.50.
That's not bad, then. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
The going rate we were looking at, wasn't it, Mark? It's between £3 and £8 for a.
Yeah. It depends what condition, obviously.
Yeah.
If it needs a lot of parts, I wouldn't pay more than £5 or £6 for it. It needs a lot of parts.
No, I mean,
I bought 22 Dinkies and Corgis for £90. So it's like $4.50 a piece.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
£4
a piece.
You've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. You'll come to learn the condition. If it's original.
It depends why you want to buy it. I bought overpainted crap, not nice ones for restoration only. So, yeah.
I mean, I'll give you an example that our friend Andy Bourne, he was with us at Stafford, and he brought a model. Forgive me, I can't remember what the vehicle was, but he paid £2 for it, and he went up 4 or 5 stores, and there was another one in exactly the same condition, it battered about a bit. It wanted to restore it. They wanted £8 for it. So you've got to have it a bit of forethought and a bit of experience, and by all means, ask on the DMC Facebook channel. I think about buying this model, guys. What do you think it's worth? And like Laz says, depending on the condition, is it boxed? I mean, there's some really good restored vehicles out there in brand new boxes.
Yeah, reproduction boxes.
Yeah, reproduction boxes. So you've got to be very careful about what you buy.
Well, the honest ones, they stating that it's a repro box.
Yeah.
But not everybody is honest. Plus, I think if you restore some of these Dinkies, you can buy the new Dinky ones, the Outlaw version. They're quite cheap, and you can use that box with your restored original Dinky.
I mean, it's interesting because is it the Corgi Club, Martin, that are starting to reissue their models?
Yeah, Corey Club, yeah.
Are they still doing it, or?
Yeah. You can buy the James Bond. They're going for about £35, lads, at £35 a pop. So you've really got to want that car. You know what I mean? To spend 35 quid.
Yeah, we got 2 comments. Millie's asking, why do you fix old cars? And the other one is Henrik says, before COVID, they were €2.
Yeah.
So Millie's asking, why do we fix old cars?
Well, I think it's a sense of achievement, Millie, at the end of the day. If you get something which is old and bad, and if you can bring it back, it's that sense of achievement rather than just buying something and stick it on the shelf. If you can buy something and work on it and make it the best possible you can, you know, it's just that sense of achievement when you've done something like that. And also the fact that if you want to collect something, some of the mint stuff is very, very expensive. But if you buy an old one, what wants work doing to it, you end up with the same vehicle, sometimes in better condition than the original was, and it's still on your shelf. And if you don't intend to sell it, then it's not a problem. But it's just that, to me personally, it's a sense of achievement that you've taken something which is bad and you've rebuilt it and cleaned it up, and you look at it and say, yeah, that's nice, you know.
This is a restored one, for example.
Yeah, that's getting some use, that fluoride. That's getting some out in that fluoride, you know. You run out of petrol on that soon.
It out quite a bit now.
Every day you drag
week
that out.
now.
That's the only one I have here. That's why I'll show you this one.
You know what, Laz? I used to like that car, but I'm now getting sick of seeing it.
Yeah.
That's the only one I have here. That's why I'll show you this one. But it's an old Corgi, and I think it looks new again. And if you put this on the shelf, you know,
I'll probably give Millie an example here. Let's maybe show you something.
What I do like, I think that's a prime example though of what you've got to be careful of. Laz, can you just turn it over where you put the rivets in? Because that looks exactly like the original model because it's got rivets in it. But because we know Laz, we know that it's been drilled, painted, restored, and new rivet heads put in it. But if you hadn't got the wherewithal, I think is probably the best way of putting it, you might think that's an original. I mean, if Laz could get an original box and put that in there,
I could fool someone who doesn't know I could fool someone who doesn't know these cars really. We got 5 comments, so let's see what we got here.
Before we carry on, Laz, just a second. Just show an example of when you get something like so. Yeah, you buy this. The sense of achievement in turning that into that.
Yeah, your half car. Yes.
Yeah, the half car.
Yeah.
Good one, Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly as it came. I got it at the shop. It came to me like that. And I thought, you know, somebody put a lot of work into that. But then that's the sense of achievement in my eyes.
Yes.
There you go.
That's
right. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a couple of messages, texts. Let's see. Jerry says, "Hi Millie, it's just something to do with my hands. I'm a retired maintenance worker. Plus, it can be a history lesson." And then Millie says, "You're very good at it too."
Good call, Jerry.
Very nicely painted car, and it's nice, Les, says Henrik. Thank you, Henrik. And Millie says, "Much better."
So, going back to the question that was asked, then Luke, Why do you do it?
Do what?
Why do you restore cars? Why do you fix old
Oh,
cars?
sorry, I was miles away.
I don't know where you was going there, mate.
I like the history behind it, behind the model that you get, and to save them. Really, I destroyed loads as a kid, loads of them, scrapyards, and it's my way of giving them back. 9 times out of 10, they're going to end up in the skip, landfill, whatever. I like to save them, and I will save as many as I can.
Yeah. I mean, my reason is I'm a 59-year-old, 12-year-old. I've lost all my toy collection from when I was a kid. I was a big. The boys get sick of hearing me saying it, but I'm a big Jerry Anderson fan. So I wanted to get all them vehicles that I'd lost as a kid, and I've got most of them back now, and I enjoyed doing it that much. This was to do with COVID, to be honest. Most of us started around the COVID period because we got nothing else to do, and you come across the Martin Dares of this world and Bob's Corgi vehicles and Marty and people like that.
Millie says
I could have a go at that. I could have a go at that. So you start off with the vehicles that you used to have as a kid, and then when you've done all that, you kind of enjoy doing it and you carry on.
Millie says she meant that we are very good at it. So thank you, Millie.
That's very kind of it.
Thank you.
I'll back him.
Lazi-low, I meant that you guys are very good at fixing and painting cars. Well, thanks, Millie. That means a lot, you know.
Shaky Hands is here. JMO. I do it because Telly is crap and I hate my relatives and I don't drink and have sketchy social skills.
The only way that he could put it. Yeah.
Thank you, Millie. She says you're welcome, guys. So thank you. It's a hobby we do enjoy. I mean, my reason is I to be honest with you, the worse the car is, the bigger the change at the end. So if it's okay, I normally don't touch it. But if the paint is off, the windscreen is scratched and everything, the tires are damaged and stuff. I feel like it's a challenge to do it, and I see with my eyes when it's ready. I look at it. I said, "Oh my God, it looks like a brand new car." And it's just nice to look at it. It's like a real car. I think if you have a nice car, it's just nice to look at that car. I
think one of the
pleases your eyes.
One of the best offshoots or branches that we've got from this is, look what we're doing now. Look what we're doing tonight. We wouldn't have thought about doing things like this 4 years ago. You had you're isolated on your own channel, and and now that we could come together and start discussing things, it's almost become like a bit of a well-being group, a community that we can shoot the breeze, talk about ideas.
It is a community.
Yeah.
You could fix all my nursery kids' cars.
Really.
Yeah, it's a community. I think people like socializing, and I mean, we got members from all around the world, which is amazing because it
started off when we were all basically in the UK.
Yeah.
And then the likes of Michael came on board and Ron and people like that from the States and Oz.
Yes. I remember the first time I was so nervous to go on the chat.
I was the same.
Was everybody frozen, or was it just me?
I was really
all right, Martin. You look all right.
I was really happy because I could see from Martin. I knew Martin's voice, but never seen the man before. PJ, I knew because I've seen PJ's first couple of videos, and he was sitting there. Oh, hello, guys. So I knew PJ's face, but I never seen Martin before. But I knew the voice.
Yeah,
he has got. Regardless of what he says, he's very. Humility is the word, I suppose. He's got a very distinctive voice, right? So we went out, and he was recognised by his voice alone. That's twice that's happened now, and I couldn't be happier for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I hadn't said to him, "Oh, have a look at this," and Martin had said something like, "Oh yeah, that's blah blah blah," the guy behind the counter wouldn't have recognised his voice, which is bizarre. So it was great, like so.
I remember in one of my videos I said, "Hello guys, it's Les from Lazi-low Collectibles. Maybe you don't know the face, but you know these hands."
Yeah, you I must admit, you get some. It's very nerve-wracking when you first decide to do a video. I mean, I spent quite a few weeks, maybe months, procrastinating, if that's the word. Shall I, shan't I? Shall I, shan't I? And I thought, I'll just give it a go. And I thought, what's the best way to do it? And I thought, I'll do an unboxing. That's the easiest way. I don't have to show my face. And you know what I mean, and stuff like this. And I thought that would be the easiest way to break into it, because it is a bit unnerving, especially when you listen to your own voice back. It can be quite scary. You don't even sound. You don't sound like you think you sound. Do you know if that makes sense? And I've just found it really awkward to start off with, but after one or two episodes, you get to relax a little bit and get into the flow and I try to concentrate more on what I'm doing, and to try and sort of take the mind off of being a little bit. You do get a bit nervous, because I used to have a terrible stutter when I was younger, and I used to find it awkward to talk on camera. You know, because I don't script. I don't think I do is scripted or anything like that. It's all off the cuff, and sometimes you do stutter a little, stammer a little bit on thinking of what you're going to do next, or what you're going to say next, or sometimes you'll on one clip you'll say something, and then you'll have a break for maybe a day or half a day and come back to it, and if you don't watch your previous clip, you forget where you were and then you repeat yourself. I've done that a few times. So now what I do now is when I've done a piece of video and I stop it to do something else, then I'll replay it whilst I'm looking at what I'm doing something else, or waiting for paint to dry or something like this. So I know where I am. So the next time I do it, I'm up to speed where I am. You know, it's a bit awkward, but as you get into it, it can get easier. The more I've done it, the easier I've found. And I've got more relaxed in doing it now. But it is awkward to do stuff on camera whilst talking, because sometimes the camera can get in the way. And people say to me, "Oh, why haven't you? Why don't you show this and why don't you show that?" And I think, yeah, that's okay, but it's difficult to show certain things when you've got a camera in front of you or nearby. You have to have the model in a certain angle to work on it. And if you've got a camera stuck in the way, you're trying to look over the camera or around it. It's very, very awkward until you actually do it.
All you can see is this on the screen. You're not seeing what's going on behind.
It's difficult to appreciate it until you actually done it yourself. And as regards, people say, "Well, you don't show your painting, you don't show this." At the end of the day, painting is painting. If I was to show every time I painted a vehicle and I showed you painting it, then that could take 5-10 minutes of the video, and it's just something that people eventually skip by anyway. I don't show it.
What we found on the analytics is that people spend, if you've got something like a 16-minute video, they look at the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes because they want to see what it looked like and what it ended up like. So,
well, I find with mine, what I tend to do in my videos is my videos are mostly aimed at people who are beginners or starting out in a hobby or intermediate, or they haven't done a particular model before. Laz touched on that. He said he'd have a look at my video, see who's done it. I like to concentrate more on the stripping it down, showing people how it comes apart, the difficulties your face whilst taking it apart, and also the difficult was your face putting it back together again. You know,
So Martin,
to me, that's important. That will, a lot of models will put people off because they think, oh no, how am I going to take this apart? How am I going to,
So
you know, how's
Martin,
it going to work? And so if you've seen somebody do it, when I started doing it, I was looking round for videos what would show me how to do a particular thing.
Don't let me use the bell. Don't let me use the bell. You know what
so,
it's like.
So Martin, you say that your videos are for
Yeah.
beginners and intermediates, so we don't need to watch your
Everybody's
videos.
frozen again.
No, we're fine, mate. It's you that's
I
frozen.
picked up on that, lad, a minute ago.
Let me read some comments because we got a lot of
Please,
comments.
please, yes.
Old Boys Toy says, the trouble is I have too many hobbies. And Miri says, that's funny. Henrik says, I start with a second tempo gigante or il tempo gigante, if it's Italian. A childhood dream to build one out of 7 cars missing stage. A nice window for it. And then Jerry says, I'm in the witness protection plan, so you won't see me.
Wow, okay.
And then shaky hands, JMO says, unboxing are really popular. And Henrik says, I started with Corgi during COVID as a relaxation. And then Millie says, were you serious of me buying tracks for the Hot Wheels, I guess? And then Jerry says, I like doing the unboxing videos for all of my 18 subscribers.
We all started somewhere, Jerry. And the fact that the feds are watching you, you know, just be careful what you're doing. You know, don't.
And old Boys Toys says, my channel only started 9 weeks ago. And for every 5 minutes of film, I use 2 hours of my hands get cut out.
There's no video that starts off the way it ends up, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know how many minutes of footage do you shoot, Laz, to end up with a 15-minute video?
I normally don't do too many retakes. The opening scene, you know, hello guys, welcome to the channel. I introduce the car, and then I take it apart, and then you know, I do the detailings. I don't show too much of the paint stripping, the painting, because I did that before. Nobody watch it really. I mean, how many times you can show spraying, and you know, it's just the same thing. So, and then I do the detailing, and then I finish off the video. So I don't really do too many extra takes really. So I think for a 15-minute video I spend like half an hour or something.
What about you, Luke?
I tend just to leave it running as I'm going, and as I start editing, I just trim bits out, speed bits up. That seems to work for me. Like, I do show the paintwork. Maybe I shouldn't really. I might ditch that.
I think it might be that what we may concentrate on is our strengths of what, you know, what we're doing. Like, I know Laz and Luke are big into the paints of it, and like Martin says, it's stripping down techniques. But the way that
as a whole, it all comes together as one.
Yeah,
you know, it's not. It's just a taking apart and a putting away. The first thing you see it on any model is the outside of it. If the paint's not up to much, the model won't look right anyway, will it? You won't capture that.
I mean, you've got to take the bugger apart, or you ain't going to start anywhere.
Yeah,
not going to get anywhere,
I understand that, but I think the paintwork is probably one of the most important parts of it, because it's that's what you like.
That's
like
my point.
Like a normal car. You go and look at a car and the arches are hanging off it, and it's dull. You know, money.
But we've learned a lot from you with the strength in how you paint things. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. You know,
Millie says that some people would like to see how you do it. I think. Well, I've got 312 videos. I think almost all my UK videos I've done in the UK. I was painting outside, so I've got many of my videos showing the priming and the main color painting. I've got some videos with the paint stripping as well.
That's my. I mean, that's my argument, or one of my arguments is that somebody might join Martin Dare's Dinky Restorations tomorrow, and they've never seen anything he's done before. Same with any of us, you know, my channel, Luke, Lazi's channel, Luke's channel. So they've never seen you take a car apart or spray it or put it in caustic soda or blah blah blah. And if we're not careful, we're cutting out the fat. Sorry, we're cutting out the content when what we should be doing is cutting out the fat. So let's say, for example, you've got the wire. You know, you just took your chassis out of caustic soda. What you don't need to be doing is showing 15 minutes of wire brushing the chassis. It's a hint of what you're doing. So it might be 10 seconds of,
Yes,
which is a long time, believe it or not, in the editing world. But what the flip side of that is, how many people? I mean, Luke's now got his booth for stripping paint. How many people watch restoration channels just to see a chassis being stripped of its paint inside one of them cabinets? Like, and
I was lucky enough to have that PJ. Like I say, that come when I was doing my Nissan. Never used it since. Used it for doing that, and never used it again. But since starting the diecast, it's used every week. So
yeah,
otherwise, I'm using plastic.
it's what they call it. It's like the what do they call them? ASMR videos, where you just sit back and you just watching somebody strip paint off a chassis, and you can watch it for about half an hour, and it's relaxing. You know, it's them kind of carpet cleaning videos. You know, people are watching for hours because it's just relaxing.
Jerry says, I will do some videos in the future on making parts once I perfected the techniques. And Old Boys Toys, how people go about repairing things rather than replace.
How people go about repairing?
Well, yeah, repairing, that's down to molding, really, isn't it? There's certain things you can make. The Paul Restorer does a lot of his own moldings and things like this.
I don't think he buys anything, really.
Yeah, he gets a lot of his parts donated to him. He gets a vehicle maybe lent to him, which he takes apart and uses the parts off that to make his molds, like figures and things like this. But I think regarding, you're gonna have to. You can't necessarily make wheels unless you 3D print them. If you're going to replicate Corgi or Dinky wheels, they're cast. So if you're in metal, then that's a possibility. Is everybody frozen?
Jerry says, "Oh, I would love an old carpet cleaning video."
Jerry, it's pretty sad that I watch things like that. But there is I think it's Mr. Carpet or something like that. Just have a look for carpet cleaning. ASMR. Alpha Sierra Mother Romeo. ASMR. And I've spent hours watching carpet being cleaned.
I think it's the same like with cleaning a car, you know, or sandblasting or something. I think people like to see. I mean, recently I put wire brushing into my videos, but only like 10-15 seconds, because I had like 9-10 cars to wire brush, and it took me like an hour and a half with the bases and everything. It's a long process. I couldn't feel my legs after that.
If you can show a little bit at a time, what I try to do is after a while, maybe a few weeks, I'll show a bit of wire brushing, or I'll show a bit of this, show a bit of that, rather than every time. Just show a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I do. Try to show some window cleaning, show some polishing, show maybe, you know, applying the decals.
I'm not a big fan of time lapse video. I've watched so many videos of time lapse in it. And you can slow it down, but then the music and stuff is annoying because it's different speed. And I think too much time lapse, you don't really achieve much. Yeah, you can see somebody wire brushing at 100 miles an hour, or you can see certain things, but it's not. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of that, and I don't see me doing that anytime soon on
The only
any of my
time,
videos.
I found that useful, Mark, is if somebody's doing a plastic kit build, something massive, a big kit build. I'm talking about something like the Enterprise, which is about, I don't know,
Yeah,
almost 2 foot long. I've seen a guy. He did it in time lapse, and he put no sound on it, so that you could slow the video down at any part and just see that detail that you were struggling to.
Yeah.
That's where it makes sense. But on a
video,
video
if there's no music,
no. A couple of things. So with something like that, it's almost the size of my hand. If I was to show after it had been stripped, which is, in this case it has been done, so it's a good example. That's just the crane part. But after it's been stripped, if you spent if you videoed that being wire brushed with a Dremel, you're looking at a good, I don't know, I've spent an hour and a half, getting so what you're basically doing is give a hint of how you do it. So a 10-second video cut, that gives an hint of what you're doing, like. But to do the whole thing,
well, I think
about an hour.
I think also that I've done. I think it's 4 beginners guides rather than how-tos. I don't like to call them how-tos because it's not my place to tell people how to do anything. But as a guideline, as a beginner's guide, that covers tools to buy, what to look for on eBay, and processes of axle pinion over. To me, if you do a video like that and it's on your playlist, then people can revert to that, and they'll get, if they want to know about pinion over, they can watch the full video on pinion over rather than just a 2-minute segment, and I think then you can refer people back to that and they can have a quick look at that video. Because the thing is, it's a bit awkward because I'm not wanting to the analytics and all that sort of stuff on YouTube. I do it because I like doing it, and I'm not really bothered about this, that, and the other, what goes with it. So I do it because I enjoy doing it. And if people want to see, it's all about time. If you drag your video out too long, people lose interest. So if you're going to add in all the wire brushing, all the caustic soda in, and all the other stuff, it could be like 50-minute long video, but if you can condense that down to like 30-35 minutes, and you've got your beginner's guide for people to go revert back to, then I think that's fine, in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I mean, one tip could be that how you can put what are called cards in your video on YouTube. You could stagger it to say, this is how I've done. Here's an example of me doing it before.
I'll be back 1 second.
Take you off.
Okay, lads.
So you can do chat.
Yeah, but then you got to be careful. You don't. I don't like to do cards and stuff because it too much fancy stuff on your channel is like watching. I don't like to patronise people to say, well, you this, that, and the other. But refer them back to the beginner's guide if they need to, and say, look, I've done this in a beginner's guide. Go and have a look at it. It's in the playlist. I've got to finish that off actually because I only got so far and then I've stopped. So I need to go back and have time to do that.
Well, I mean, me and you have had this discussion over many discussions about what we should and shouldn't include in content.
Yeah, everybody's different though. That's the trouble. Everybody is different. Everybody's got a different outlook to stuff. People want to see, like you were saying earlier on, people like to see sandblasting. People like to see caustic soda in. People think, oh no, I don't want caustic soda in. People like to see painting, but they want to see because they're doing it and they're probably doing it on a budget like most people are. They don't want to get involved in buying fancy stuff. They want it as is, unless they've already got the equipment. If they've already got the equipment, they're coming over with a different hobby, and that's different. But if they're starting out from new in your garden shed, for instance, then they'll they don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on fancy stuff.
It's not garden shed. It's garden office.
Oh, garden office now, is it? Garden office.
Garden restoring building.
Oh, right. It's not a restoring kennel, then? No,
it's
not
not
like that.
Kennel, no.
It's welcome to my
I
new
will
home.
say, on the back of what Martin's saying, there's a guy who does, forgive me, I can't remember the name of the channel. He specialises in doing Tonka toys. And halfway through his video, he gets to the point where he's putting his model into the sandblasting cabinet. And you look at the comments, and it says, "I'm only here for the sandblasting." It's because people just love to watch that for about 20 minutes while they're having the dinner, or tea or something like that. It's just so relaxing. So,
well, to be honest with you, I'm the opposite way around. When it comes to sandblasting, I'll fast forward it because I find it when you can't see much and it's boring. Yeah.
Well, you say that, but how many times have we said, "Look at the paint covers the detail on a lot of these models," and you strip it back and you think, "Wow, that's what it should look like."
After it's done, I'll look at it after it's done. But watching it is because I had a job once actually working for SodaStream in the UK when they first started producing the old SodaStream machines, and one of the jobs I had was sandblasting the gas bottles at the back, in the thing, and I was doing day in and day out. And I tell you what, I got so fed up with it. Every day for 8 hours. No, thank you.
I'm just going to pick up on a few of these comments. So, Jerry saying, "Oh, I love a good carpet cleaning video." There's nothing like it, mate. There's nothing like it. I've recently started watching. It's got nothing to do with Diecast whatsoever. Ant Canada, I think it's called. This guy's got this big glass cabinet in his house. He must be worth thousands. And he's created his own rainforest in this cabinet, and he's put all these bloody insects and all sorts in it. It's fantastic to watch.
Now that would interest me. Yeah.
I'll send you a link, Mark.
Jerry says, "Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Go on, lads. I don't want to. You've only got one job. Carry on."
Yeah, Jerry says, you guys with your garden sheds make me jealous. I have a desk in my bedroom to work on. Same here, Jerry. I don't have a shed yet.
That's what I had, Jerry. Not wrong with that, mate.
I'm helping my dad now. He moved into a new house, and I'm helping. And I just tidied up the garage today. And if ever I will live in that house, because he's got two garages next to each other. One garage will be the workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
garage.
it's gonna be a garage or garage, whatever.
Garage.
A garage.
It sounds like something from a clothing store, doesn't it? To get yourself a new garage today.
Garage.
Garage. Good lad. There we go.
A garage.
But so one of the things we covered was we were talking about things like toothpicks and different mediums to do different jobs. We touched on the 3D printing, but also a good tool is learning how to use in the mold making kits. Now, I've got this little lunar rover, and it came with one figure, which the little guy sits in there like so. So I took him out, made a mold that you can purchase, and if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll send them a link. I made a mold, put the little guy inside. I'm trying to do this pretty quickly. Put the little guy inside, created the mold, took it out, pour the resin in, and ended up with these little guys. And I based them on the Space 1999 TV series. So now I've got. I want to do some work. I can't remember who did it. Somebody posted a picture on the Facebook channel. He'd taken one of these and he put a radar on it and a satellite dish and all sorts. So now I've got two little guys like that. So don't look over the. It's almost like using the difference between practical and digital. Don't look after the don't ignore the practical side of doing things.
I prefer practical rather than digital.
Yeah, practical effects. I think that it's great. I use super glue with bicarb to build up breaks in mudguards, etc. Says Old Boys Toys.
Yeah.
It's a well used solution. Is the word I'm looking for.
No.
Jerry was saying, yeah, I'm just picking up on what Laz was saying. You guys with your garden shows make me jealous. Well, no, this is a false background, obviously, and behind this is my front room, and I've moved my shed inside because if you live in the UK, the weather is crap. I have got an 8x6 shed. It's full of stuff that I've got no room in it, so I've had to move into the front room. Luckily enough, there's only me and the dog, so the dog doesn't tell me off. I can get away with it. And I think Andy Bourne said, your desk always looks clean. Well, yeah, because I've got a PC in front of it. I've got to keep my desk clean as well. So it is what it is.
My dog was in the video yesterday. My little assistant. I don't know if you've seen her.
We love our pets.
I haven't watched your video yet, lads. I'll have a look at that later, mate. Sorry.
I think she got like 25 seconds, half a minute show time, Sonny.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the boss really of the channel, not me. I'm just an
An extra.
I'm the boss of the channel.
I'm just an employee. Yeah, she's the boss.
So I think this is good because what it's done is raised a bunch of topics that we can talk about in the future. Whether it be
we had very good comments and very good questions. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm quite happy that people were very active.
I think one of the concerns was we may only have a few online, but after the back end of the last one we did, the video got 77 views. So it's people will watch this at a later date when they've got time. I don't know. It's 9:30, so we've had an hour and a half.
Yeah, I won't be too long before I go because we had a late night last night and I've got things to do tomorrow, so I'm not going to be too late.
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can. I mean, Michael won't be coming. That's for sure.
It's too late now. So my thanks to my co-host, to Luke, Laz, to Martin, as always, for jumping on board on it. We do this every other Saturday now. We may run a bit dry at times on topics, but I think even tonight when we started to stutter a bit, the questions the questions have helped us to talk about stuff. So thanks to everybody. How is the wife, Martin? Old Boys Toys is saying.
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, she's all right at the minute. She's struggles a lot in the mornings with the breathing at the minute, but it's an ongoing thing, and we're having to deal with it. Yeah,
she's as tough as boots. That woman is. Bless her.
She is. She is.
And she looks after. You wouldn't. I'm going to embarrass him a bit, but you wouldn't believe who the ill one was because she looks after him like he's a bloody 5-year-old kid, and she gives him bloody all sorts. So we love her. She's great.
Brilliant, mate.
So thanks for
together.
Old Boys Toys.
32 year, I think now.
On the tavern, by the way, on a Friday nights. If you don't understand what it is, basically it's a Facebook meeting we have on a Friday night. It's a virtual meeting like this, but there's about 14 of us online at any one go. It could be anything, any amount of people, and we encourage wives, girlfriends to pop on, and we treat them like royalty because we know his places, obviously. So Laz's mum's been on tonight. Martin's wife Verna's been on before. Lee and Jackie have been on before, and so's Michael's wife. She's been on before. So we encourage people to take part. That's what it's all about. It's a community.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely community. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm rambling now. So that all being said, thank you to Laz, thank you to Martin, thank you to Luke, thank you to everybody in the chat. We'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
Before you go, just a quick one for Luke here. That RS Cosworth, is it 500? The RS 500 by Matchbox, the black Texaco one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that in that white that you sent
that
down.
Frozen white.
Yeah, I'm going to do.
That's right. Martin.
Yeah, I think it's
just
nice with that.
Yeah, it will, mate. I'll just say, just drop it in a bit of warm water, that can first, and then you're gonna have to give it a good shake, mate, for a good 10 minutes at least. Just get get it shook up well, and then just like Coach Martin, just build it up slowly, and then when you're happy with it, just hit it with a shiner, and it'll be perfect. Then, mate, it will.
Hit it with a what?
A shiner, a good flow coat, and that'll do it.
Oh, right, yeah, I got you mean.
Yeah,
it's
you know to spray him out. It's pretty much the same as how you're doing anyway, but I just hope you like it the way it works.
Well, I think so. I think
you'll definitely notice the drying time. Just obviously get a bit of heat on when you're doing it, Martin.
Oh yeah, my heat was on today when I was doing that black, and I tell you, I came out for a break and went back in. I was nearly stifling because I've got the heater I've got is a Calagas super serve heater, and I tell you what, you've got either 1 bar, 2 bar, or 3 bar. There's no lower than that, and when it starts getting warm in there, he gets his t-shirt and shorts when they're in the shed. I'll tell you. So I use that prime. Shall I use that prime as well that you sent?
You can do, mine. Like you said, that prime, it's not great, man. It's not like a high build, or it's just more coverage, really. I'd probably use your normal eye coat or something that you're using if you're used to it.
Okay.
And you could run a bit of that white over just to lighten the undercoat, and then just hit it with white. Then make it easy to cover, really. But any troubles, mate, you got me there anyway. Just give us a shout.
I will. Okay then. Right.
Good
I'll
stuff.
see you guys later then, if we're going to call it a day, aren't we?
Yeah. Don't forget, just, by all means, if you haven't done already, please give the channel a thumbs up, the video a thumbs up, and subscribe.
We have
spread the news.
We still have some comments.
We'll go.
Read them out.
I'm on it, lads. I'll be with you. So please give us a thumbs up. Give the subscribe to the channel. We've now got a Patreon account. If you want to help support us, it's much appreciated. It's in the description below. Laz wants to pick up on the comments.
Yeah, we just got a couple of final comments. Henrik says, "Thank you all. It was nice as always. I'll spread some firework for tomorrow. Thanks for tonight." Cheers, lad, says Old Boys Toys, and Jamo says, "Bit of news, my buddy with the 2 E-types and 80s Merc Sports just added the smart RS2000 to his garage." So that's all we have.
Nice, Jamo.
Right, so we're out of here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys, says Millie. So thanks for everyone coming. Thanks for everyone coming. And see you all soon.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.